when applying hydrostructural corrective techniques. Because you are using the hydraulic tissues in the abdominal area to make the corrections. It is important to manage and gauge the correct amount of pressure that you will put in, as hydraulic forces can multiply a force by 100 times. If you apply a small force over a small area, it gets transmitted through the hydraulic fluid and acts over a larger area, thereby creating a larger force. The force is multiplied according to the ratio of the two areas. Liquids have no shape of their own. Liquids will not compress. Liquids transmit applied pressure in all directions. The abdomen and all the organs in this area are able to transmit pressure in all directions if these fluids and tissues are compressed. Liquids provide a great increase in workforce. Hydrostructural has figured out a way for these liquids in the body to do all the heavy lifting work for us. By utilizing them, we can create correction forces that allow us to move displaced structures back into place with ease. Since the liquids or crystallized liquids in the upper abdomen of a person's body is contained inside of elastic tissues, the application of pressure by the person pushing into these fluids must be strictly controlled so as to not put in too much pressure. The hydrostructural technique is done in a very specific way to increase the pressure on the person's abdomen, without overdoing it as forces are multiplied. So you need to be careful. Too much pressure can cause a new collapse. There is only one correct way to achieve this increase in pressure at the person's upper abdomen, without the risk of overdoing it or doing it at the wrong angle, which although might make some noise, it's in fact pushing things the wrong way. There is only one way to do this correction to be considered the correct way to do hydrostructural. It is important to note that doing it any other way is the incorrect technique used by other techniques that have not yet fully perfected the application of biohydraulic science and the forces at play as hydrostructural has discovered. Don't be fooled, it's not the same thing. I have not seen any other technique teaching this how to use these forces properly to make corrective changes in the body by simply utilizing these hydraulic tissues. No research existed until hydrostructural came along, up until this point. So, we are dealing with a new field of biohydraulic science unlike any other. And because of that, you have to follow these very precision-oriented steps in order to effortlessly move the structures and not cause a further collapse or a posterior to anterior movement of those structures. So, this last step is very important that you fully grasp exactly how it is accomplished in order to be considered a hydrostructural corrective movement. Everything else is most likely wrong. Apply the final corrective pressure. Once everything is set at the correct angle and you have preloaded the correct amount of wedging in pressure, like you see in the picture above, notice the legs are straight and the practitioner's body is bent at the hips and waist at a 40-degree angle and the torso of the practitioner is pointed directly at the person's abdomen. From here you simply need to increase pressure in a slow but direct way to the upper abdomen of the person's body, without letting up at all but continuing to slowly start to straighten out the practitioner's hips, waist like you see in the picture below.